Hello everyone, I'm sat in my yellow chair today. That means it's a story time video for you. So earlier this year, I think it was in January, I can't quite remember, we were visited at 5 AM. Yes, 5 AM. We had a visit from the immigration officers at our flat. So you're probably thinking, what the hell? Because honestly, that's what was going through my mind when it happened to me. But yes, we had immigration officers come round our flat and I'm going to tell you the story. So that day I was working, so the night before I knew I had to go to bed early because I was waking up early to go to work. If I'm working on a film shoot, chances are I'm waking up at 5:30 to get to somewhere for 7 AM. So in this particular occasion, I'd gone to bed quite early and Chris had joined me a slightly bit later because he wasn't working the next day. So, you know, we're asleep in our bed, just minding our own business. And then there's a loud knock. And like at first, you know, you're asleep. You don't really register what's going on unless you're actually awake. So I was kind of like, oh, maybe it's just like the neighbors downstairs, like being drunk and trying to get into his flat or something. So I didn't really think anything of it. And then there was a loud knock again and I could hear like some shouting and I was thinking, what the hell? They must be like super drunk to like have woken me up at this time. And I was super annoyed because obviously I had to go to work the next morning anyway. So I was like, oh, I just need to sleep. And then it happened a third time and I heard the words, open up or we're coming in anyway. And I was like, what the like, what the hell? Me and Chris both sat up in bed. Afterwards, he told me that he thought he was dreaming, but realized that when I woke up and was sat up, he was like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. They were still banging on the door saying, open up, you need to open this door. Hurry up, we're coming in, you need to open this door. I was like freaking out. Like, I was really shaken up. And so Chris got on his dressing gown, went to open the door, and about 6 or 7 immigration officers barged into our flat. It was honestly the scariest thing. If you've ever seen, what is that program called? It's the program where they literally send immigration officers around to someone's house to try and find whoever. It was literally that TV program. It was just the weirdest experience. I remember I was wearing quite a like thin top, so they were like, please put something on. I was like, oh god, this is embarrassing. So I went and put my dressing gown on and joined them in the living room. They were like, is so and so living here? And we were like, no, it's just us two. They were like, are you sure? We have a search warrant to check these premises. And we were like, go ahead, it's just us two here, like there's no one else here. So obviously we live in a flat, there's not many rooms to check, so they weren't very long looking around. They had a quick look in every room, they were like, no, yeah, there's nobody here apart from you two. And so then we all kind of like laughed about it, but honestly it was so scary. And then they kind of said how that the person that they were looking for was a builder or like did manual work and would usually wake up at that time anyway, which is why they did it earlier than they usually would. And I was like, well, it's not bothering me too much as my bedside alarm was going to go off in half an hour anyway. So I went into the bedroom and turned off my alarm. It was 5 AM and my alarm was set for 5:30. So we were all just like laughing about it. I've got the paper that they signed saying, oh, the person's not here, but we did come and check the premises, somewhere in this room. It was just the weirdest thing. There was like seven officers. I think it was 2 women and then like 4 men, I think. And they were all super nice. Like as soon as they realized that this person they were looking for was not here, they were super nice and friendly. Turns out they were from the same place that I used to live, like where I grew up, which is really funny. And they actually were like, you've got a really nice flat here, like well done guys. And we were like, thank you. And then we all just laughed about it, and eventually they left maybe like 15 minutes later. They had to check all our IDs just to make sure that we were who we said we were, which is, you know, obviously fair enough, they're just doing their jobs. They were like, we're really sorry, like hopefully this won't happen again, but you know, it's our job, we have to find this person. We were like, yeah, we understand, it's fine. So yeah, that happened. It was just one of the weirdest experiences, and you see it on TV and you hear about it in the news and you just never think it happens to you. And then it did happen to us. I don't have many stories when I can be like, oh my god, this crazy thing happened to me, and that is one of those stories that I can now tell to people. It was so scary. I was shaken. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna like search through a whole property and like rip stuff apart. Like I was very scared, but once I'd calmed down and they were like, it's fine, we know this person's not here, like we were all very chilled and very happy and laughed about everything. And then I got to work. I got to work and I remember one of the production managers being like, oh, how have you been? What have you been up to? And I was like, well, this morning I got woken up at 5 a.m. from immigration officers barging into my flat, and they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, it's not something that usually happens, but it happened to me. I was like, yeah, it was crazy. So I just wanted to tell you that short story. I thought it would be a bit more interesting the way I said it, but maybe not. I don't know. It was something I needed to record, mainly so I can remember it. But I thought you would want to hear about it as well, because honestly, it was such a crazy 15-20 minutes. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye!